Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys and thems, today is May 27th. We took two trades today. One L on NQ and then one banger dub on NQ. Let's get right into the trades. Now, before we actually do that, let's take a look at the pre-market levels that we had marked out. So we're going to go to our 30-minute. And we had just respected a... Let's go ahead and turn off our AI levels. So we had just respected a supply that we had put in. You can see it here once I turn it back on. So going into the open, we respected it, got a close beneath it. Was not expecting the retest. Was expecting us to continue to fall, which is why I didn't even have that level really marked out for the retest. What I was interested in was these two demand zones right here. Now going into the open, we did already break this zone, so I was watching for a pullback to take the retest short into this demand zone. However, we sold off way too far, so the next look was a break retest of this demand. Now, I love playing these break retests. This is typically the only way I will short at all-time highs is if I'm taking a break retest of demand. So, zooming into the one here, we can see exactly what happened. We broke through the zone, good volume on the break, tapped back into it, even got a rejection. I've been on my short setups at all-time highs. I really have been waiting for a continuation of sellers. I don't want to enter just off of like one candle, so even waited for the close beneath this 30.25 level. Got the close, went a decent bit in profit. Was aiming for the lows here. Actually, I was aiming for, let me turn the levels back on. Was aiming towards the bottom. We had an auto demand level that would have hit for almost like 200 points at the time. However, these levels are dynamic and fluid, so they adjust as they read the live order flow. So it would have been a nice like 4 to 1R, but ended up getting stopped out on that. Now this was pretty tilting to watch because as you can see, my TP got slammed. Right, it basically stopped me out just to go right in my favor. And I was on the live. We had about 100 of our students watching. They all watched me get stopped out live just for it to go straight my way. And I was telling them the importance of what I was not doing, right? I wasn't just oversizing. I wasn't doubling my position size. I wasn't over trading. I wasn't revenge trading. I didn't hop right back in. No, I waited for an actual valid second short setup, which was essentially just a continuation of this downtrend. We already missed the retest of this broken demand. Right, that's gone. If we were to come back into this demand zone, it probably would have broken above VWAP, retest, and continue going long. So I was no longer interested in that. However, as we are continuously moving down until we find a floor, which is exactly what happened here, until we found that floor, I was still interested in the shorts. So once we came back up, we saw buyers get exhausted. As you can see here at 10:35, we had lower volume. Again, lower volume, 10:45. We ended up entering once we saw buyers get exhausted on the tape. I'll pull up the book map a little bit here in a second. Entered off buy side exhaustion. Now, when it comes to take profit level, right? This is why the book map is so important. We had a massive offer sitting at the 29,900s. However, I did not want to get out there because if you pay attention, we had another long lasting or resting offer in the markets here at the 90s. Now, we actually got I think almost literally a tick or 2 ticks away from my take profit before we did end up filling it and coming down. But besides this 90s offer, there really wasn't any other long-lasting offer in the market. We had one at the 60s, but that got canceled right after this one got filled, and we saw buyers start to step back up. This is exactly why using order flow or any level 2 data is so important. Because if you would have tried to get out at exactly these lows, it would have never hit. You would have still been in this trade, and it probably would have stopped you out break even. Guys, when I tell you, I make these reads every single day. I'm basing my entries, my exits, my take profit levels, my trim levels, whatever it may be, off of the actual liquidity in the market. If I zoom into what's going on right now, you can actually see buyers are in control. We're filling passive offers and continuing with aggressive buying above. This is what moves the market. This is actual orders getting filled, and you're gauging the relationship between the passive participants in the market and the aggressive participants in the market. Now, you can't just look at this all day and be like, all right, I'm just going to trade off these bubbles. No, you still need to be trading within your key levels. So that's why when somebody asks me like, oh, like what do you trade? How do you trade? There's not really a specific term, unless I want to say, I trade a combination of supply and demand mixed with order flow and volume by price analysis, but like that's long as hell and nobody's going to listen to that and it sounds boring. At the end of the day, every single setup I take or every single trade I take is in some way, shape, or form a break retest, a bounce, or rejection of some level. Here, this was the break retest. Here, this was the rejection of the highs. This would be more of kind of a continuation play to the downside. But I am so proud. I can't find it anymore. It's going to take me forever to go back. But I am so proud of having that really good order flow read and setting my TP there at the 90s and basically bottom ticking today. Because then you can see you can use order flow as well to kind of help you play off these levels that are formed intraday. And look how many opportunities you would have had to play longs off here. I mean, this would have been the third time that we respected this level, and you could have played it back to these highs. So order flow is absolutely amazing. I don't know how people trade without it. 1 for 2 today. We took about a 55-point loss on NQ on the first trade, and then the second trade, 101.75 points. So absolute banger. This is how you trade.